Just imagine, you're 35 years old. You've been working for 15 years, and somehow, you have less money saved than your parents did at your age, despite making more. Your checking account is a horror show. Your savings account is a joke. And every month you tell yourself, next month, I'll get it together. But next month never comes. And you know what's wild? You genuinely believe this is your fault. It's not. Hey, I'm the bald G. And here's the thing. The system didn't fail you. It trained you. Trained you to be predictable, tired, and broke without even realizing it. Look, I spend way too much time thinking about the money lies they fed you as a kid because the system hopes you never do. And if you're someone who's sick of being confused, overwhelmed, or just stuck in the same money loop, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if it helps you out. All right, bubblegum ready? Let's break the system. So here's what nobody told you. Everything you learned about money as a kid? Yeah, most of it was designed to keep you exactly where you are right now. Working, spending, repeat. The system loves predictable people. And you're very predictable. Don't get offended. I'm not attacking you personally. I'm attacking the programming. Because that's what this is. Programming. Financial programming that started when you were 6 years old and never stopped. Today, we are going to break down the 5 biggest money lies the system taught you as a kid. And trust me, by the end of this video, you are going to be pissed. But that's good. Anger means you're waking up. Let's go. The lie 1 is save your money and it will grow. Remember being a kid? You'd get $20 for your birthday and some adult would say, put it in your piggy bank, save it. And you did, because you were told that saving money was how you got rich. Here's the thing. They lied to you. Not maliciously, just ignorantly. Because here's what they didn't tell you. Saving money doesn't make you rich. It makes you less poor. There's a massive difference. Let me show you the math. And this is where it gets really interesting. Let's say you're 25 years old. You decide to be responsible. You save $500 a month, every single month, for 40 years. You know what you have at 65? $240,000. Not bad, right? Except that $240,000 in 40 years has the buying power of about $100,000 today. Why? Inflation, the system's silent tax on your discipline. But wait, it gets worse. According to the Federal Reserve, the average savings account interest rate in 2024 is 0.46%. Meanwhile, inflation averaged 3.4% over the last decade. Do the math. You're losing 2.94% of your money's value every single year just by being a good saver. The system trained you to save, but it didn't train you to grow. Because people who just save are predictable. They work longer, they retire later, they stay in the system. Now, you might be thinking, but Ball G, you have to save money. You need an emergency fund. And you're right. But here's what most people don't realize. The goal isn't to save. The goal is to save while you build. The people who win, they save enough to cover emergencies, usually 3 to 6 months of expenses. Then they take everything else and they invest it. They buy assets, they start businesses, they make their money work instead of just sitting there slowly dying in a 0.46% savings account. Because here's the truth the system doesn't want you to know. Rich people don't save their way to wealth. They invest their way to wealth. Saving is defense. Investing is offense. And you can't win the game playing defense your whole life. The system loves savers because savers are safe, predictable, controllable. Don't be a saver. Be a builder.
The lie 2. Good grades equals good job equals good life. Whew. This one, this is my favorite lie because it's so elegant, so perfectly designed. Let me guess. Your parents told you to get good grades, go to a good college, get a good job, and then you'd be successful, right? So you did it. You got the grades, you got the degree, you got the job, and now you're 32 years old, making $65,000 a year, with $40,000 in student debt, living paycheck to paycheck, wondering why the formula didn't work. I'll tell you why. The formula was never designed to make you rich. It was designed to make you employable. There's a massive difference. Look at the numbers. The National Center for Education Statistics reports that the average cost of a 4-year degree is now $102,000 for in-state public schools. Private schools? Try $218,000. Meanwhile, the average starting salary for college graduates is $55,000. Do that math real quick. You spend $100,000 plus to earn $55,000 a year. That's an ROI that would make any investor laugh you out of the room. But here's where it gets really interesting. According to a 2023 study by the Federal Reserve, 39% of college graduates are working in jobs that don't even require their degree. You spent $100,000 and 4 years of your life to be overqualified for your job. The system loves this because educated, debt-loaded employees are the most loyal employees. You can't take risks when you have $40,000 in debt. You can't quit your job to start a business when you have loan payments. You can't negotiate for higher pay when you're scared of losing your health insurance. The system trained you to value degrees over skills, credentials over results, titles over income. And now, you're stuck. Now, look, I'm not saying education is worthless. I'm not saying don't go to college. I'm saying question the ROI. If you're going to spend $100,000 on something, you'd better make sure it's going to make you more than $100,000 back. Otherwise, you're not investing, you're just spending. Here's what most people don't realize. The most valuable education you can get doesn't come from a classroom. It comes from solving real problems, building real things, making real money. You know what's worth more than a 4-year degree? 4 years of sales experience. 4 years of learning to code. 4 years of building a business even if it fails. Because the system benefits when you're educated but not wealthy, when you're smart enough to work but not smart enough to win. Don't fall for it. The lie 3. Debt is normal and necessary. This one's insidious. Because unlike the other lies, this one feels true. You've been conditioned to believe that debt is just part of life. Student loans, car loans, credit cards, mortgages. It's all normal, right? Wrong. Debt isn't normal. Debt is a business model, and you're the product. Look, I want you to really think about this. When you were a kid, did anyone ever sit you down and explain how credit cards work? How interest compounds? How minimum payments are designed to keep you in debt for decades? No, of course not. Because the system doesn't want you to understand debt. It wants you to use it. Let me give you some numbers that should make you angry. The average American has $6,501 in credit card debt. The average interest rate? 24.37%. That means if you're making minimum payments, you're paying $132 per month just on interest. Not the principal, just interest. Over the course of a year, that's $1,584 going straight into the bank's pocket. Money you worked for, money you earned. Gone. But here's where it gets really disgusting. According to Experian, the average American takes 15 to 20 years to pay off credit card debt if they only make minimum payments. Let's do the math on a $10,000 balance at 24% APR with minimum payments. Total interest paid over the life of the loan, $13,000. You paid $13,000 to borrow $10,000. That's a 130% markup on your own money. The system loves this because people in debt are people who can't leave, can't quit, can't take risks, can't build wealth. You're not a customer. You're a profit center. Now, you might be thinking, but Balji, some debt is good debt, like mortgages. And sure, there's a difference between debt that buys assets and debt that buys liabilities. A mortgage on a rental property that pays for itself, that's leverage. A car loan on a $50,000 SUV that loses 20% of its value the second you drive it off the lot, that's stupidity. But here's what most people don't realize. The system trains you to normalize bad debt by mixing it with good debt. They call it building credit, like it's some noble achievement. But what you're really doing is proving to banks that you're a reliable source of interest payments. You want to know the real secret? Rich people use debt as a tool. Poor people use debt as a crutch. If you're using debt to buy things that lose value, cars, clothes, vacations, you're not leveraging anything. You're just broke with extra steps. The system benefits when you're in debt because debt makes you predictable, controllable, profitable. Break the cycle.
The lie 4. Money can't buy happiness. Oh, this one. This is the lie that keeps people poor and makes them feel good about it. Money can't buy happiness. Let me ask you something. Have you ever cried in a Mercedes? Have you ever been stressed about bills while sitting on a beach in Bali? No? Then maybe, just maybe, money does buy happiness. Or at least, it removes the things that make you unhappy. Look, this phrase was created by rich people to keep poor people from wanting more. It's psychological warfare disguised as wisdom. Here's the truth. Money doesn't buy happiness, but poverty guarantees misery. Let's look at the data. A 2023 study from Princeton University, which everyone loves to misquote, found that happiness increases with income up to about $500,000 per year. Not $75,000 like the old study said. $500,000. Why? Because money removes stress, financial stress, which, according to the American Psychological Association, is the #1 source of stress in America. You know what money buys? Healthcare, when you need it. Time with your family instead of working 3 jobs. The ability to say no to toxic employers. Choices. Freedom. And you know what? Those things make you pretty damn happy. But the system doesn't want you to know this, because if you knew that money could actually solve most of your problems, you might start acting differently. You might start demanding more, working smarter, building wealth. The system benefits when you're content with less, when you believe that wanting more makes you greedy, when you think that struggling is somehow more noble. It's not. Here's what most people don't realize. The people who say money can't buy happiness usually have money. They're not worried about rent. They're not skipping meals. They're not choosing between medicine and groceries. It's easy to say money doesn't matter when you have it. Now look, I'm not saying money solves everything. I'm not saying rich people are happier than everyone else. What I am saying is, stop lying to yourself about money not mattering. It matters. A lot. And the sooner you admit that, the sooner you can start building real wealth without guilt. The system trained you to feel bad about wanting money, to think that ambition is greedy, to believe that struggling is somehow more noble than succeeding.
It's manipulation, and it's working. Don't fall for it. The lie 5. Just work hard and you'll be successful. All right, last one. And this is the biggest lie of all. Work hard and you'll be successful. You've heard this your whole life, right? From parents, teachers, bosses, society. Just work hard, put in the hours, be loyal, and eventually, you'll make it. Except you won't. Because hard work doesn't make you rich. Smart work makes you rich. Let me show you why. The average American works 38.7 hours per week, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Some people work 50, 60, 70 hours a week. You know what they have to show for it? Exhaustion, burnout, and maybe a 3% raise if they're lucky. Meanwhile, the people who are actually getting rich, they work smarter. They leverage systems. They build assets. They automate. They scale. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Your boss works less than you and makes more. How? Because they own the system. You're just working in it. This is exactly how the system keeps you broke. It convinces you that effort equals results, that hours equal income, that loyalty equals security. But it doesn't. You know how many hours Jeff Bezos works in a week? Doesn't matter, because he owns Amazon. His wealth compounds while he sleeps. You know how many hours a landlord works to earn rent? 0. The tenant works, the landlord collects. You know how many hours a dividend investor works to earn passive income? 0. The companies work, the investor collects. The system trained you to trade time for money. But time is the only thing you can't get back. And if you're trading it for a paycheck that barely covers your bills, you're not building wealth, you're just surviving. Now you might be thinking, but Bald G, not everyone can own a business or be an investor. And you're right, not everyone will, but everyone can. The difference between rich people and poor people isn't talent, it isn't intelligence, it's not even luck. It's this. Rich people build systems that work for them. Poor people work for systems built by someone else. Here's what most people don't realize. The hardest working people in the world are often the poorest. Construction workers, nurses, teachers, servers. They work harder than most CEOs. But they're not paid for their effort. They're paid for their replaceability. The system loves hard workers because hard workers don't ask questions. They just work. But if you want to win, you have to change the game. Stop trading time for money. Start building assets. Start creating leverage. Start working smarter instead of just hard. The system benefits when you believe that effort is enough, when you think that struggling means you're doing it right. It doesn't.
Look, here's the thing. I'm not telling you this stuff to make you depressed. I'm telling you this to wake you up. Because the system doesn't care about you. It doesn't care if you're broke. It doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't care if you die with $3,000 in your checking account and regret in your heart. The system just wants you to stay predictable, to keep working, to keep consuming, to keep believing the lies. But you're not a cog in a machine. You're a human being with a brain, with ambition, with potential. And now that you know the lies, you can't unhear them. So here's what you do. Stop saving and start investing. Put your money in assets that grow, not accounts that decay. Stop valuing credentials over skills. Learn to solve real problems, build real value, and earn real money. Stop normalizing debt. Use leverage strategically or don't use it at all. Stop pretending money doesn't matter. It does. And wanting it doesn't make you greedy. Stop trading time for money. Build systems. Create leverage. Work smart.
The system trained you to be broke, but you're not broken. You're just reprogrammable. All right, that's it for today. If this video pissed you off, good. That means you're paying attention. Hit that subscribe button if you want more truth. Drop a comment and let me know which lie hit you the hardest. And share this with someone who needs to hear it. I'm the Bald G, and remember, the system only wins if you let it.